Hello, YouTube. I have a new build idea I wanted to start and kind of introduce to the channel today. As you know, we do have a couple builds ongoing right now, one being the Treasure Island, the other being the old library bar, with the focus of the Treasure Island being kind of just more on our first landscape build, and the old library bar is more about piece placement inside of this bar structure, but obviously with all the books, and as the books are on shelves, how we can maybe potentially animate those books. If that were to kind of that level turn into a game, just really how much is there to interact with was kind of my goal for that project. Obviously, a lot more to kind of go through with those builds, but for this one today, I want to switch gears. I have this idea, and I kind of spawned from a previous conversation I was having with friends before getting into this Unreal Engine thing. But I found a content pack that's on sale currently right now for the March sale inside the marketplace. I want to say it's about $25. Pretty good deal, I thought. But this content pack is going to be the University Classroom Interior Environment Schoolroom. So if we look at some of the photos, I really was kind of liking what I see here. You've got pretty much everything you need. I think, down to, the actual stage area, the props on the walls, whiteboards, even the seating, the desk, the props that would be on top of the desk, a notebook, a pen, paper, water bottles. Another kind of shot of the same. Even looks like some sound dampening kind of fabric on the walls potentially. Speakers, nice computer. More tables, calendars, notebooks, books, markers for the whiteboard. Yeah, really liking what I'm seeing here in this pack, and I think, for 25 bucks it was worth it. So this will be one of the first ones that I think we've purchased and actually are using in a new build versus, the previous two builds have just been entirely pretty much free content, I think, up until this point. For this build, so I'm not just going to do a basic classroom. I'm actually going to incorporate a lot that's from that content pack, and I'm going to try to build something different. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about an idea that I had a while back for potentially a build. But kind of where I'm going with this is VR and VR video games have been around for a while, but I feel personally like I've never had a strong attraction towards those games because there's never been a game, such as like Destiny 2, Call of Duty, something that really interests me to play. Then they seem more of like a one-off, like a novelty type of game that you might play for a little bit, you think it's cool, but you'll never really get into. But I had that thought of imagine if there was a new style of game where you could honestly kind of like go to class with your friends in the VR world, but you could do more than just the you know watching someone give a lecture. Perhaps you could interact at your table with a frog and dissect it in biology class, or you're in an engineering course and you could even look at an engine on the table and kind of do an exploded view and see all the parts. Really, just like an environment for learning. That's kind of the whole point of the game, making education fun, I suppose. But where I'm going to start off with this build is kind of a blend of two different ideas. So we're really just building this space kind of like a classroom, lecture hall, but we're not going to just, like I said, settle in just a classroom. We're going to try to do something I think similar to these right here, an old opera house. I really like some of the features here. I like, the side boxes where you could potentially come over here. Let's look at this one first. But you have kind of some elevated seating here, perhaps some platform seating in the back. But it wouldn't be all just seating. There'd maybe be, this is where we'll kind of have to take some creative liberties, I think. We'll maybe have some seating like this, some conference room kind of table style seating. I really want this to be kind of like an all-encompassing room that could be a theater, but it could also be for like a talk show. It could be for a classroom. It could be for any sort of required. It could be the required space needed to host a bunch of people and deliver a message, right? I don't think we're going to go quite this fancy, quite this old-fashioned here. I think where some creative liberties will kind of start to be incorporated is when you get to some of these like fine details around the molding, perhaps kind of the chandelier, some of these vases that are and artwork that might be around Oops, that's another from a different build. But yeah, where some of these, really detailed, the molding there, I do like that, but I think instead of having it be all of that aesthetic, I want to incorporate kind of a futuristic aesthetic into this as well. Imagine you're in a lab and it's, or like Batman's I think cave where where it was just the illuminated, the whole space seemed to be almost like heaven. It was just one big white room, and everything seemed kind of a little futuristic. You just weren't quite sure what type of space that was, right? So again, this is obviously it has one purpose here. I'm kind of pulling from the idea that I could use this in that kind of a game down the road, that VR type game. But I do want to create a brand new space with, of course, multiple seating patterns and perhaps ways to have breakout sessions, but then there's the main stage and then separate kind of areas where you can hang out and so again, I think it'll be a fun and an exciting build. But with that being said, we will jump into the build. Hey YouTube. So we are over here in the build in the engine, and as you can see, we've got this kind of the start of a build going on a little bit here. I've taken some time to put together what I sort of thought this stage would look like, and I really, before I move on to anything else, want to focus on getting this stage at just absolutely perfect. And then looking at the map size here. Actually, I did the smallest map with a 2x2 kind of tiling size there, so I think it's a 7x7, and then the 2x2 option. But this is obviously going to be on one end of the map, and then I think once we get this complete, I'll sort of pull out the floor this way, and we'll put some seating in here. Perhaps on this side, the back area, there'll be maybe like some elevated seating on this side, some on this side over here, and then the middle there'll be like a kind of like a where a projector might be if this was actually if we're showing a movie or something like that. Seating, of course, down here, then along the left and the right wall, there will be some of those additional box kind of seats available, kind of going back to that theme of an old opera house. I've got a couple things going on here, but really, like I said, starting with the stage. So let me walk you through what I've done. As you can see, we'll look at kind of what's in the content back. So really, the first bit is this stage area here, and think so. If you come down, it's kind of show up in your content browser under university_classroom. If you go into meshes, you have your whole mesh folder, and then you've got this modules folder as well, which has some extra kind of pieces in there. Obviously, some flooring, some ceiling tiles, some door frames, all kinds of wall. Really, I think what's kind of interesting about this is that this modules pack here gives you the ability to do not only just your straight walls, but there's some angular walls. They've got the molding, the kind of the lighter wood color molding on the actual wall itself, which is nice. But yeah, under meshes, so the original stage, I believe, looks something right like that right there. As you can see, I kind of jumped that up quite a bit in height, or excuse me, in height, width, and the length there. Um, and I didn't just keep it as just the main stage. I'll show you kind of what I did on the back side there, but this is the 1x1x1, and I want to say I probably did let's see here. Whoops, too much. Yeah, so maybe like a 5x4. I think I bumped it up to maybe a 1 point something. Yeah, so relatively close to something like that. Just wanted more of a stage presence versus what it actually, the initial size is. But then if you look down over here, you'll see we actually have where the stage ends right there. And then this is quite interesting. So I ended up just, my thought was is this would be maybe where behind the stage and we'd have curtains kind of that would kind of come out a little ways here and a little ways from this wall here. And this back area would be kind of like the staging area. You could have some kind of, I don't know, maybe band equipment in the back or something else needed for the play, like a big piece of the play that's made out of like paper mache that would be staged over here, and then we'll get into the back area in just a moment. But what I use for this bit is if we actually come to the modules pack, you'll see they have two different floors here. thought these looked quite nice. One that's like that, one that's like that. So yeah, I just kind of, I think, did 3 wide, and then I just did the length to match as close as I could to the actual stage. So yeah, that's that part. And then I kind of started to frame this in with some of the other wall modules. Um, that's really just made the stage and then that back area one mesh. Kind of merge those together. And then once we jump into the back here, so I kind of wanted to give the effect of a full wraparound. So in case you didn't want to run across the stage, you could actually come back here and run back down this hallway to get to that other side. But not just on one floor. So currently building this up. So we took some of the stairs and we're actually going to probably do 3 stories. So we'll have this, and then this will shoot straight to the other side. And this will maybe be I don't know, like a hangout room, or I'm not sure what that will be. Maybe just another staging area or something like that to keep various items. Then we'll do stairs to wrap up again, and don't know, I'll probably have to judge the height, but that up there, look at that view. That'll be quite nice once we get all the seating in there, I think. But this is going to be the catwalk where we'll have probably a lighting rig, um, speakers, all of that kind of setup up here, and this will allow like your technician to come up here and be able to access. And imagine if we actually were able to play a game in here and kind of be able to look down and seeing a whole theater full of people. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that's where we are right now. Maybe I'll jump off. We really excited about how the stage is going to come together. Um, what I've got going on here is kind of interesting. So I thought to kind of achieve that futuristic kind of technology vibe, maybe, so versus just the old-fashioned vibe, is I'm going to take some of the ceiling tiles, which is very similar to what that big piece of kind of concrete, that huge slab up there is, and I'm going to just kind of put these together in a random, however I can, just make a puzzle out of them at different, different actual, there's going to be no, it's completely random, no rhyme or reason to this, different heights, different widths, different lengths, just all meshed in here. And I think either on the main back wall or kind of the left facing column there or the right facing column, what I might do is incorporate some of this as the actual um, new wall face there. So you'll have a bit of a texture there with these various blocks kind of going in and out. And then we also have some of the sound dampening kind of foam pieces here. So you've got that one there, a little smaller one, and then just a flat one that's a bit taller, more rectangular shape. So probably incorporate some of that on top of this if that ends up looking nice. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely like this idea here. Not sure how I'm going to put it up there yet. And then back here, I thought this would be really interesting. But I went in, these are all some of the free Quixel Bridge. I think if you just search tile or what did I search? Tile or maybe marble, you'll get some of these to show up here. And I think what I might do is come up with some kind of mosaic. So perhaps you'll have not sure what I want to call that, but the kind of the futuristic tiles over there on the left and the right, and then I'll do a huge mosaic of some of these patterns when I'm kind of settle on a design here. But look at that, that looks really good. You get up close. This one's just more like little gems, I imagine, maybe like a backsplash almost. Maybe I won't use this one, but kind of like a backsplash in a bathroom. Still pretty cool. That green tile. I really like this one. That'd be a pretty cool effect. Then you've got some angles here. Thought that'd be kind of neat to achieve sort of like you do multiple of these, but like offset and connected at the point right there. Kind of do like a big rhombus diamond shape and then maybe that in the middle. Be interesting. And then of course the cubes, that's a cool pattern. And then more cubes in a different way. Although I think I like that one more than I like that one. And then this one here, this is actually what we're using already in the sort of the back area over here. for the floor. But yeah, so I'm going to focus on getting the stage built up. I think the next step here is I might really just get the catwalks done. Come out of that mode. Yeah, I need to get stairs put in here and build this up. So yeah, really excited to see what this turns into. I think this whole pack was a good buy for what, 25 bucks. No complaints so far. So I've done 2x2 over there. Hope everyone had a good St. Patrick's Day. Did I do 2x2 here? Looks a little wide. No, I didn't do. I think these are already 2x2, so yeah, I did just that. That's right. That didn't, I was about to say that didn't look right to me. Yeah, so we'll do, just using, so the stairs, these stairs actually came out of the university classroom. If we look at modules, and then in order to get this, I just took 4 of these, one over, and then kind of one block up, and that's what I'm using to build these staircases. And then just for the flooring, kind of going into the starter content, right here, architecture, then floor. So let's get these dimensions as close to exact as possible. Oops. That looks good. I like that. Yep, that looks good. Then we'll go ahead and think, yeah, in order to read, because that height is going to be a little high, so I think instead of doing kind of like a come up big landing and then one staircase here, I'm going to do a smaller landing and start these stairs just a little bit sooner versus, so we'll kind of stop right there. And then I guess real quick, duplicate this. First, let's make it small. I know March 22nd, we're actually getting a couple new games. I think Dragon's Dogma #2 is coming out, and Rise of Ronin. I don't know if anyone is interested in playing those games. I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is maybe multiplayer. Love to get into that game. It's very Elden Ring, but a little different, I know. So that should be good. So let's right here. That's good for right there. Oops. Hmm. Yeah, I may have to change these stairs up a little bit. I guess we can go. Let's just do one more up, actually. No, we'll keep going all the way to the wall because I could get rid of that. I think that doesn't necessarily have to dock there. It can dock over here. So yeah, let's keep going all the way and just see where we are. Oops. Hmm. Yeah, I think I might just hold off right there because we're about here. So I can add another landing. And then I think what I'll do is I'll try to make a different kind of model of steps for this last little bit of the way. Because we're really not too much. Let me look. Yeah, we still got some distance, but yeah. I'll look to build that out a little bit more, I think, before kind of figuring out maybe I change that up a little bit, but at least something like that. Really giving this some back area some depth with all that's possible. But yeah, let's come over here and look at this. I really want to get at least something on the wall here just so I can see what that might look like. But And again, we don't really have to be perfect with it. So yeah, we've already kind of started a little bit. Oops. So I think let's duplicate that one like that. And we'll turn that perhaps 90 degrees. Okay, those are just shadows. Okay, and then maybe we'll duplicate this, turn it 90 degrees, and then let's move it down, and then into there. Let's move these guys out of the way. Let's turn him 90, like that. Yep, don't want any openings there. Go like that. Like that. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. Let me see what that looks like. Looks pretty ridiculous, but I like it. I think we'll extend it out just a little bit more. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. So let's see if I can figure out how to merge all of these together now. We'll start up here. Well, fingers crossed that I got all of those. And then merge actors, stupid wall art. And we'll save that. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. Absurd. I love it. So let's see if we... I think I'll first try to put this one here. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that a lot. We'll maybe turn that one ever so slightly. That's pretty neat. I think we'll come back in and we'll fill in some of the gaps. No, it's not going to be perfect. 90 there. Let's maybe bring that down to here. Yeah, we'll do something like that. We'll do something like that. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, and let's come here, control, click. All of these, grab them all. Merge these guys together. Bigger, dumb, wall art. Where did that go? Oh, I guess it went nowhere. And one more. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Not sure if I really like that, but it gives an interesting backdrop effect. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Maybe I won't be married to the idea for long and kind of scrap it and move on for something else. But I do like the idea of having some crazy background to the stage that you would see every single play. I don't know if a mosaic would be, because it's kind of like you have, this is the majority here, and then you've got that long kind of vertical bit there, and then same thing right there with that kind of tower. And we could do the mosaic there. We could do something like this on that, and then put the mosaic here maybe. Got to come up with the mosaic. I'm not sure what design I want to go for there. But yeah, no, I think that's a good, that's good so far. So, and the next one, I think what I'll do is build this out a little bit more, keep playing around with this, maybe run with this piece for now for a little bit. I'll probably frame it in so it's perfect. It fits perfect on that rectangle there, and then look to start the mosaic piece, separate. Now that I think about it, this bit might work better on the columns, just because being a perfect rectangle, I'm sure I could come up with a pretty cool design, depending on which pieces over there that I end up using. But yeah, we will we will see. Thanks everybody. I hope everybody has a good rest of your day. We'll look forward to following up on this build here very soon. Thanks.